Hello everybody, and welcome here to the STB Racing League. We're here in Tier 1, Season 26 of the Chinese Grand Prix. We are very excited to be showcasing this tonight, as it is the next step, it's the next round in the Tier 1 standings, in which there's a beautiful battle between Tharlo, Mafio and SM Ulasoy, all for that top spot going into this Grand Prix. I am starting this stream very early compared to other streams, as I do just like to, if I'm by myself commentating, which I am today, I do like to show you all what is going on in the quality session, as I feel like it does bring some good entertainment to the streams. Of course though, if you don't want to watch this, then obviously you can watch it back and just skip straight to the race, it doesn't really matter. But nevertheless, we take a look at Kisatilla, who's going down the back straight. It is, I think, the longest straight on the calendar. I am not too sure on that though, but it is an extremely long straight, going to be made for some plenty amount of overtakes, as Starlight takes top spot with a 31.1 as Kisatilla comes round that last turn. Here comes the Red Bull. It is a 30.8. He smashes Starlight's time by 0.3 of a second. Can Joey though meet up with his father team in the Red Bull and in the Racing Bulls? Mafio, of course, in there for the championship. I believe he's third behind Tharlo, who is second. Joey though going into that hairpin, which we'll see plenty of overtakes, plenty of maybe 3-1 moments. This track is very, very good for racing. Actually, people don't realise how good it actually is for racing. They just think China and be like, oh, it's banned, it's whatever, it's an awful track. No, if you actually watch some of these streams that we have put up here, or any stream about China, it turns out to be a very good track to watch, and it's very enjoyable to watch these drivers go around the twisty and kind of odd circuit in a sense, because you've got the weird almost 270 degrees first turn or turns where you turning the steering wheel all the way to the right and then you're going all the way back over to finish up the first two kind of sequences. And then of course you met with that long back straight, which just completely relaxes really your hands after such a grinding first few turns. And that of course is what makes this track so unique to other tracks as well, in my opinion. I don't mind watching Felipe Nunez, as he's literally retired. Mauri though, he did tell me he was putting in some very good pace for this Grand Prix. Actually, I think the best he did, and he told me, was a 31.2. He has done a 31.8, but it does put in P4. It's ahead of Joey, it's ahead of Cami. Mauri is a tier 3 driver, not tier 1 at all, so for a lap for him, that is pretty darn good. But the championship leader here, SM Ulasoy, for the Williams, is going around the circuit right blooming now, as we see. If he could take the top spot away from Kisatilla, who is kind of really striving away at that top spot here. Oh, I do apologise. Tharlo's actually leading the championship right now by 1 point. And then it's Mafio behind second place with 13. So, I do apologise. But this is different now. Tharlo's actually ahead of SM Ulasoy. He's ahead of him by 1 point, so this is a really, really crucial change in the tide in the of course Tier 1 championship that we have today. This is a really important race, because Tharlo and SM Ulasoy, if one of these retire tonight, then a huge wave of points will be shifted over, and a huge bit of time will be shifted over for SM Ulasoy, as he is put on 31 dead, 31.1 dead, sorry. But yes, this is a massive, massive, massive moment in this Tier 1 championship. And as I know we've got 12 drivers, it's not the greatest attendance tonight, but the drivers are quality, and that's what makes this tier kind of say, you know what, we have 12, but we have 12 brilliant drivers here on the track, even though we have Tier 3 Maldo. But other than that, good quality drivers here battling it out in China. I think the last time I did China, actually, it was wet and I crashed into the wall like Lewis Hamilton did going into the pit lane. I completely missed it, went into the wall, so drivers have to be careful not doing that today as well. But yes, I'll repeat one more time, huge race for championship. It's a massive amount of momentum, massive amount of points being swiftly changed from one side to another. A change of momentum maybe, or are they going to stay locked level head to head like two big fat bulls, two racing bulls as you could say, ready and raring to go for next week, which I believe is, oh, I forget, I think it's Las Vegas. think. I'm not too sure though, you might have to fact check me on that. But the Bird, he is currently one of the only men out of the track here, as Joey is ahead of Maffeo now, which is quite important for the standings. Maffeo starting 5th place would not be good, obviously, for a driver of Tier 1 quality. The Bird, though, he's kind of both Tier 1 quality and Tier 2. He has been very good at the top of Tier 2. Tier 1, he has been kind of swaying about from side to side and actually becoming progressively quite well in the season. So if he could put in another good performance here today from the Bird, that would be lovely for him. Joey, though, is going to come back into the pits. I think, really, the Bird is the only man on the circuit who is on a flying lap right now, as we see the Red Bull, I believe, of Kisatilla there. Or LDF1KO, it's LDF1KO actually, my mistake. Coming out for his first lap here in China. This is the second Asian country that we have gone to this season, I believe. With, oh my word, sorry, the Bird, 30.9. Extremely good lap. He has pushed himself right to the top, but not on top of Attila. He was the first man on track and is still the only man to be in P1 right now with a great lap of 30.8. Now back to what I was saying, this is the second Asian country that we have in the calendar. I believe so anyways. We had Japan, of course, earlier on in the season, and of course with China, almost next door neighbours really, those two, in their cultures and that, I believe. Anyways, Joey in the box, cutting it. I do believe, actually, I'll be honest with you, I think if you do cut that pit lane entry like that, I think it is a penalty. I don't know. I'll clip it just in case if it happens in the race, because, you know, I might as well. But this is what I'm saying, like, in STB, it's very, very crucial this season that you do not cross the pit lane entry. If you cross that white line, that solid white line going into the pits, you get a 5-second side penalty slapped on top of you. It's happened to so many in this season so far. You've just got to be one of those drivers who watches out for it and makes sure it doesn't happen to you, because if it does, it could ruin your race. You could go from P1 all the way down to P7, depending on how close you are to one another. But here comes LDF1KO. He's going to go into that last turn. Looks like a decent lap from LDF1KO. However, it is a 31.8. It's pretty much the slowest you could go for this so far. I guess Attila's up by 90 thousandths. And Maffeo slams out on his head. He puts pressure on the Red Bull. Maffeo is in P1 at the moment. And he's really not only showing up, really, Kisatilla, but he's also showing up Tharlo. He's also showing up Etamunso. He's telling them, what can you do to beat me in this qualifying session? And can you prove yourself to try and challenge for this title? Tharlo, of course, leading 1 point. Etamunso ahead of him starting on his lap. It's going to be very, very crucial to see what's going to happen in this Grand Prix. Attila, though, is ahead of Tharlo, and oh no, he's binned it. He's binned it going into that right-hander. So tricky on the traction. And unfortunately, Attila has made pay for it. He is round on the right-hander. He ruins a potentially fantastic lap. And Tharlo, he's 2 tenths up on his lap. So he's charging through. Around 9, probably a 30.9 he's looking at right now. If he can just get up a little bit more, this could be a P1. He could override his teammate here as he goes into the right-hander here. Very demanding hairpin. Can you push it to its limits? Going into this left-hander now. Tharlo 4, can he put himself on pole? Put pressure on his championship rivals? Yes, he can. He does it by a mile. 30.7. And there he goes. Etamunso. Can he put something on the table here? He's going to burn his battery going down the straight here. A 30.7. It's a fantastic lap from Tharlo. It's around 60 tenths ahead. Sorry, not 60 tenths. Around 60 thousandths ahead of Maffeo. Not a lot, but it is enough to get in P1 at the moment. There will be one more run that he's going to go through, but this is a crucial one. Can Etamunso get ahead of his championship rival Tharlo? Yes, he can by 3/10 of a second. What a lap from the Williams. And Etamunso from a 31.1 has absolutely smashed through for a 30.4. And Tharlo 4, Now he needs to show up a little bit more now. He needs to gain those tenths. He needs to try and put himself on the map even more. Side effects 929. Is he on a lap or is he just finished one? I believe he's finished one. 31-1 is a good lap for him. It's a very good lap actually for him. I do like to see what Maudi's doing though. Oh, he had a DRS, lovely from I don't know who it was. I think the bird. It was the bird, but unfortunately the bird doesn't know that Maudi has it validated. So it's unfortunate for Maudi, but if he could have had that slipstream from the bird, it could have been a wonderful lap. But speaking of the bird, he is one of the only 5 to be in that 30-point mark at this current moment in time. Can he increase on that time and potentially get into the top 3, which would be a very, very crucial and a very, very good way to start off his campaign here in China. Felipe Nunes is unfortunately invalidated on his lap. LDF1K, the other Red Bull, on his lap in 31.8. It's a similar pace between Maudi and Cammy, of course. He goes into the pits, he doesn't feel like the lap's good enough. I don't know, maybe Side Effects is on the lap. We'll have to see what he can do. Oh, yeah, he definitely is on the lap here, Side Effects. So if he can get better than his 31.1 and maybe even get into the 30-point deads itself. No, he goes to the box. Doesn't open up the turn and says, yeah, not happy with that, I'm going into the box. IRT Dilemma though, he's about to start his lap, hasn't put anything on the map just yet. Who knows, maybe he could pin himself towards the top spot, be a surprise little driver here. Not sure what he's doing though, unless he's going to retire on purpose. It's not something you want to see. Who's going to run that last time? I believe that's the bird. Yes, it is. Yeah, not sure what Dilemma was doing there, but nevertheless, I think it was maybe just letting the bird go. Also, I do apologise if the stream quality is not great. I do have a 480p. It's better that we have a not fantastic quality stream than having a stream that's going to break every 2 seconds. So this pretty much secures the fact that we're going to see the whole of the race the whole time. Instead of me having to reload it every 2 seconds, it does get quite repetitive and a bit annoying. So if you do see those kind of glitches on the screen, then apologies, but it's better than having nothing on your screen, is it? So hopefully with my commentary, it's easy enough to guide yourself through the stream and to actually see what's going on. So, I see Dilemma on a lap, of course. And he goes round to the, you could say S's, of Sector 2. I mean, it is a literal S on your screen there. Going into these double right-handers, it's very difficult to get on the traction here. China's very cruel in terms of, in terms of the traction that you have on circuit. You need to have good traction. If you don't have good traction, you're not going to have a good qualified session. You're not going to have a good race either. You wouldn't even be in a position, really, to get yourself in that DRS or that slipstream going into... Oh, it's a lovely slipstream, though. IRT Dilemma's getting given air from the bird. The bird lets him go by, and that is a wonderful bit of slipstream. Could that bump him up into 30.0s, or, you know, into the dead mark? And SM Ulusoy is out. He is retired from the session. He says, I think that 30.4 is good enough. Will Dilemma try and get one back on? And no, 31 dead is a very good lap though from him. Tharlo maybe sees that retirement and goes, you're being a bit cocky here, lad. Let me humble you a little bit. And we'll see if he can. From this lap right here, can he start on pole with a very crucial race here for the championship? Dilemma retires. 78,000's up on his lap. It's better than nothing, of course. This puts him for 30.6 right now. Around 2/10 off of what not Dilemma, of what SM Ulusoy's doing. And oh no, it's a massive snap. It's a massive snap going into the left-hander. He touches the curb, and unfortunately for him, his flying lap's over, and Mafia will be looking to capitalise on that. Huge moment in qualifying. It's a potentially big moment in the championship, depending on how this race goes. Kissa Tiller's, of course, going to do a lap. Joey's going to do a lap. That is really crucial, because now a ton of pressure by putting with 3 drivers pretty much for Tharlo breathing down his back. And right now, I believe Matt would be ahead of Tharlo. He would. That would be ahead of Tharlo with 80 thousandths or so up. Will he make the same mistake as Tharlo did? Well, he didn't actually. I didn't see that bit of the circuit, but he didn't make the same mistake. He's a 10th up now. This is going to be P2 for Maffeo. I don't know if he can quite make the astounding lap that Etem did. If he gets a bit of slipstream, though, it is definitely possible. And if that Red Bull is giving him slipstream, sorry. If it is Kisatilla, actually, we might watch him. No. Felipe Nunes out of absolutely nowhere. Sorry. Back at the grid. Up to P2. And it pushes Tharlo down to 3rd. It pushes Maffeo down to 4th. But will Maffeo try to climb himself back up that ladder into P3? Or maybe even P2 itself? Round the last turn. Maffeo, what's it going to be? 30.696. Unfortunately for him, he can't beat up Felipe Nunes. Around 60 thousandths off him. But nevertheless, a very, very good lap. And I believe Kisatilla is well off his lap. The Bird, 51 thousandths up. But I believe your pole sitter, the man who will start and lead this race, will be Etem Ulusoy in the Williams. Crucial moment here for the championship. Across the line, 31.667. The Bird is P3, Maffeo's P4, Tharlo's P5. Side effects, what can he do? I mean, hey, maybe he could get, oh, well, maybe not with that turn, I was going to say. 31, Deadler's pretty good. Maldi, unfortunately, P11, but my oh my, some late finishes at the end there. I mean, you remove Etem Ulusoy from that session, and you've got a cracking qualifying session between P1, 2 and 3 there, with how close third and 4th is. But there you go then, Etem Ulusoy is your man on pole, ready to start off this Chinese Grand Prix here in the best of the best in Tier 1. Followed him, of course, by Felipe Nunes, who was only 0.174 off of him. It was just a very good lap from Etem Ulusoy. I didn't think anybody could really catch up to that. And behind him it's the Bird, Maffeo, Tharlo, who are both like P4, P5. Can they climb themselves back up to try and battle with Etem Ulusoy for that championship? Attila, Joey, Side Effects, Dilemma, KO, Maldi and Cami, all the rest of the grid. As we head off, set for China. Here we go then, we have loaded into the Chinese Grand Prix. And this is going to be a weird one. Really, SM should win this. It is a very, very good lap from that Williams driver. I mean, weren't expecting that really going into this qualifying session. We were expecting some good laps, maybe some 30.8 maybe. I was not expecting someone to be 4 tenths quicker than that, or almost half a second quicker than that. And being P1 by pretty much 2 tenths. It's a very, very good lap, and he's really trying to put his foot down in this championship. But we'll see if he can follow that up. He can follow that pace up. Because of course it's very easy to be good in qualifying session, but then completely muck up your race by a strategy or just simply losing it in a race, losing your rhythm and not getting back into it. It's very easy to do that. But if Etem Ulusoy can keep his calm, keep composed like he's relatively done throughout the season, then I do believe that the Williams will put it 25 points up on Tharlo, or technically 24 if Tharlo retires. Of course, Maffeo, this is a big race for him. He's only 13 points behind Etem Ulusoy. Let's not forget, Matt is still in this race for the championship. It is going to be very difficult for him, though, I do believe. I feel like, not to say that Tharlo and Etem Ulusoy are cleared above him. That's not what I'm saying at all. But what I am saying is that Maffeo just isn't as consistent. And through and through in races, he's not as consistent as Etem Ulusoy or Tharlo. He just had a couple of races where he's had some really good punches in, like that Imola race and such. But he hasn't been able to back up through the whole season. And if you're going to back it up, you have to back it up now. Near the end of this, in the last few races of the season, this is where you really need to put the pedal to the metal and prove that you can be at the top spot. I think it's kind of the same with Tharlo in terms of have to prove himself a little bit more. But I think Tharlo can do that. I don't know if Matt can. That's the issue I have from that. Of course, Atamilasoy I would tip to actually be the favourite in the championship right now, especially with the pace he's had in qualifying sessions and such. Just seems like the Turkishman is just really, really putting his foot down, like I said earlier. I feel like he could probably secure some really big points for the championship here. But of course, championship a little bit of a side, focusing on just this race. Felipe Nunes and the Bird have some really big chances to score some huge points for their campaign throughout this season, for the 26th season for STB, of course, 15 years, 10 years running, almost 11 now. But Felipe Nunes, if the Brazilian can get a win tonight, or, you know, a podium, it would be huge for him, the Brazilian, the Haas driver, because I personally haven't seen much of him. Maybe there has been much of him. I haven't commentated every race in Tier 1, as I have sometimes been racing in Tier 1, as attendance sometimes is very low. But from what I have seen from Felipe Nunes, there was a bit of stuff in Spa where he was doing well, then also that crash with Mafio just ruined his race. Other than that, have I seen much of Felipe Nunes? My honest answer is no. The Bird, however, I have seen he's won a couple of times. Can he do it again tonight, or will Atamilasoy just retain that P1? It's 5 red lights. Green light, go, 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 we go racing here in the Chinese Grand Prix, and going into that first turn, it looks like Felipe Nunes might get the inside of Etem here, and he does. Up the inside goes the Haas car. Can he get the move done and dusted on the championship? Sorry, I was going to say leader in second place, and yes he can. The Bird's now looking for the move around the outside, and there's the grip coming in for Felipe Nunes. He can't get his foot down there for a second. The Bird is on the inside of Atamilasoy though. It's a poor start for the man in the second into the championship, but a switchback manoeuvre he's trying to go for here on the Bird as he tries to close in on him there. The Bird to squeeze into the outside, and the Bird of Felipe Nunes have just cleared Atamilasoy in the first few turns of this Grand Prix. And that is huge, as well as the strategy. It's huge for the strategy of both Felipe Nunes and the Bird, and Tharlo actually, because these hards are not very good to start on in this game. I'm very surprised that some people are putting on the hards really at the start of this Grand Prix. And Tharlo, if he can use that grip, which is so crucial in the circuit, he could get up the inside here, which he's planning to do, but yet again it's slippy. It's quite a little bit weird on the traction so far. Tharlo can't really get a foot in here, but you can just take a look at this speed that you get with the slipstream, and now Tharlo closing on his championship rival. They're battling it out here for some crucial points, and Tharlo will be ahead going into the hairpin, and on the exit, I assume, and yes, it is the same. Tharlo up to P3, Atamilasoy is down to P4. It's a horrid start for the Turkishman. He's gone off wide there. He's gone off very, very wide. He has lost a bit of time, but getting it back again, I don't know if that could be removed or not as a warning. But going into the first turn here, DRS is now enabled, which is also very huge for Tharlo, because now it means that he is ahead of his championship rival. And not only that, but he can use DRS to his advantage if Atamilasoy is without a second of him. And Dilemma spinning at the back there, unfortunately for him, he is kind of tarnished his Grand Prix so far, and he retires. He said, you know what, I'm giving up early here, unfortunately for me. I'm out this Grand Prix. Here's Tharlo though. You've got to be careful, Tharlo. Don't do what you did earlier on, son, and try and kill yourself pretty much. But the Bird ahead of him. And it just seems like the Bird hasn't really got the pace that Felipe Nunes has. And there's the weird grip around here in the second sector. It is so crucial to be good on the grip. Into left-hander though for Tharlo. Now into the right, he wants to make sure he gets a good exit here no matter what, even if that means losing mid-speed corner and entry speed corner. But yeah, again, it's not a good exit from him. And now Atamilasoy is catching up to him very slightly here. DRS now going to be used by both drivers, as well as Matt actually. Matt is P5, he can make a dent really in the championship. And Felipe Nunes is making a dent in the lead. The Bird is making a dent in Felipe Nunes' lead as he dives on the inside. He gets the move done for the Mercedes. He's up into P1 here in the Tier 1 Chinese Grand Prix. It's a very, very good start from the Bird. It's a very, very good start from Felipe Nunes. It's looking bright for both of those drivers here, representing some underdogs really in Tier 1, you could say. P1, P2. Can they keep it up though? That's the question. I do also think though that Tharlo not breaking 1 second to Atamilasoy is really good for SM Ulusoy, which means he can keep up with him, and I think the longer stint that SM has will become better for him if Tharlo does not get out of 1 second, which is why it's so crucial for him. He just needs to get double of what he's got right now. 5/10, add another 5/10 on that. He's ahead by a second, he's looking good. Into the second sector here, this is where he kind of mucked it about last time, and he's kind of mucked it a bit there as well. I think he just needs to get a more wider entry into that turn, and I think his grip will be much better. Into this turn now. Oh, this grip's not going to be good, is it? You can see the grass on his right wheel, and yeah, the grip's not great. But Felipe Nunes will be charging down the bird here, who is on 70%. Felipe Nunes around 70 now. DRS being used. He's absolutely going to fly past that Mercedes. No if buts, or maybe he does absolutes, and he's absolutely in P1 at the moment. Tharlo trying to get the inside, I think, of the bird here. He's very, very close to the bird. It's just agonising for Tharlo. I don't know if the bird's just slowing him up, but I think Tharlo's getting very frustrated here because he knows that he can be quicker than these lot, and he can get better exits. And if he is to have clean air, I do believe that he can do much better. But around the outside, the bird looks to go. Will Tharlo look for an entry down the inside? No. It's pretty much cut off completely. It's a very early break-in there, I believe, from the bird, and that troubles Tharlo. Getting held up a little bit, I think, Tharlo here. He just needs to try and break free from these two. And there you go, just a little bit wide there from the bird. This is very crucial. P3, P4, both of these drivers. I believe it's 3 points Tharlo would gain on the championship. I think it'll be 14 points. 14 points, 4 points going to next week. SM Ulusoy, we know the pace he can have. We know the impact that he can have in this race. As Tharlo, though, we watch on full Riot's contact between the two of them. That could have been vital. That could have been absolutely detrimental to both of the drivers' races, but luckily for Tharlo, he's not out. But luckily for SM, it screws Tharlo's grip going into that right-hander, and the bird is now detrimenting the championship battle as it's 3 wide going into the hairpin, or 2 wide now. SM Ulusoy, he's right behind, right next to Tharlo going into this right-hander here. Tharlo's going to try and get the grip around the outside. He's got the better grip. He's kind of getting boxed in though from the bird, and the bird, he is making a big impact on this race so far. Tharlo will go down the inside going into the last turn. He pushes them both off, but keeps the position, crucially. DRS being used, but Etter's got the better exit, and so does Maffio as he tries to charge up the inside of both of them. Going into the first turn now, Maffio looking to get a 2 for 1 like a Tesco meal deal. Up the inside he goes. He gets it. He absolutely gets it. Tharlo around the outside now. Massive, massive moments in the championship. It goes around the outside. SM gets the inside traction. It's much better for him. And SM is ahead of Tharlo, and so is Maffio. All of a sudden, in 1 lap or 2, the championship flipped on its head. Maffio and SM Ulusoy ahead of Tharlo. Huge moment here. I think Tharlo right now would be around like 2 points behind SM going into next week. So of course, this doesn't mean that he's over in the championship, but it does just mean the momentum might change now for Tharlo because of this. And I think later on it could have future impacts, but it's not looking good, bro. Going into the straight though, he's got to have good exit here, Tharlo, and the grip's just not doing it for him. Even with this softer compound, it's just not working. And Side Effects 99 is very close to his fellow mate Tharlo, and he won't get the move done and dusted. And the bird is quite behind Felipe Nunes now. Side will stay behind. And oh, well, the F1 KO will look to get something there. But what was your frame? He cuts that corner, and it is a 3-second time penalty for him. He did lose a lot of time though, so I think he could probably get that removed if he reports it. But Tharlo's 7 tenths behind now. It's truly, honestly, it's not looking good, Brev, for Tharlo. 5 tenths now. But of course, it's going to be well all saying this. We might have a safety car now, and just it's hard to the end, and it's better for Tharlo because of course it's 5 laps better as all that. Matt though is very, very close to the bird. Could he do what maybe Tharlo couldn't do and get the overtake on the bird on a harder compound? You do feel like the medium's maybe just slipping a little bit here for the Bird. And for Tharno equally. Maybe the softer gunman isn't the way to go anymore. And very early on in this race we could see effects of that. As Mafio, STB Mafio, will be looking for the better grip, better exit. Does he get it? Yes, he does. It's a good exit here by Mafio. He's going to have very much closer. What is it? Slipstream. I think the Bird's just using though. Yes, he is using. But now Matt's using. Will he look for the move down the inside, or will the Bird look for it as well? Yes, the Bird goes down the inside. It's a huge lunge that he makes of Felipe Nunes, and then oh no, Matt's right down the inside. He clips the rear right wheel of Felipe Nunes, and that, my friend, I believe, will be a penalty for STB Mafia. I think caught in plain sight. I think Tharlo will easily take a look at that on the stream. It's caught in plain sight for the lad, if I'm honest with you. And I do believe that this means that it's going to be a 5 second there for Mafio. It's a very, very poor... It's Felipe Nunes again, actually. And oh no, it's poor on the outside. Felipe Nunes has gone as well. Side effects. It's having good effects of that. And is up into P4. Everything's taken off for Matt. He's gone again. He's lost his head. And round goes Etem Ulusoy. I don't know if that's contact from Tharlo, but Etem Ulusoy is round here into the right-hander. My, oh my. We are seeing some huge moments here in the championship just being gone away. I mean, unbelievable. Etem Ulusoy is down in P7 now. Felipe Nunes, the man who was once in P1, is now P8. And that's all down to Mr. Mafio, to Mr. Harris. And I mean, if Felipe Nunes can get an overtake here in Etem and kind of battle Etem, all of a sudden we are seeing greater damages to Etem's race and to his championship reign. Here comes Mr. Felipe Nunes. Will he look for the move? As I think Side Effects does get that move done and dusted. But I'm more focused on this. And Felipe Nunes does get that move. Side Effects is in P2. It's all dependent on whether or not Tharlo had contact with Etem. I'm very, very sorry I didn't catch it. But if he did, that will be a 5 second for Tharlo as well. And now here's Matt trying to look for a move around the outside of Side FX 99. He's very, very slow going into that first turn as he's using none. Not the religion, but, or like the religious people, but actual N-O-N-E. Hot lap now being used by him as Matthew's looking for the move around the outside. Can he get the better grip? Can he get the move done and on Side FX 99? He might get a better grip there with a full traction, and storming goes. Side FX 99 now around the outside is looking to go as Matt does push him a bit to the outside. And Side will look for a move on the inside, but he can't get the grip. And that is Mafio up into P3. And luckily for him, ahead of Side FX 99. And if he was still behind him, it would have been much, much worse. The Bird, the man who once really detrimented Tharlo's race early on, can now be under pressure from said Tharlo. Joey spins round into that left-hander there. Left-hander. Double left-hander. There. The DRS goes Tharlo. Big moment there to catch within the ERS there. They've got similar ERS. Mafio does have more. But yet again, Mafio might get a 5 second here. And if Matt does get a 5 second and Tharlo gets a 5 second, then, well, it doesn't really mean anything, because Tharlo won't lose a position. Matt won't gain a position off of Tharlo. It's pretty much all just dependent on what's going to happen with Etem Ulusoy, as Kisatilla is ahead of Side FX 99 going into that first turn. Mafio up the inside. Right up. Tharlo's chapter. Can he get the move? But Tharlo with that inside line going into the left-hander denies him. And I think the Bird had a big moment there going into that first few turns. And all of a sudden, Mafio might send it. No. Just looking to put Tharlo under pressure there. But the Bird is now only 4 tenths ahead of Tharlo. It was previously 9. So yet again, maybe he's just not quite at the level as he was a second ago. Maybe it's due to his time being worse. Who knows? But Tharlo's now finding his groove. Tharlo's now finding his way. He's not slipping. into that in that double left-hander anymore. He's finding his way into this race more and more, as Felipe Nunes is losing his way in this race more and more, as he is has spun there, and oh no, it's not good clipping that inside curb on the exit of this right-hander, is it, Tharlo? But fortunately, that's what he's done. He could get the move done and dusted here on the Bird. The Bird will use, so I don't think he can. Will Maffio use? Will he look for the move? He's not looking for the move. He's got tons more ERS. He's going to go down the inside of Tharlo, going into the right-hander. Can he get the move done? Will Tharlo get the switchback that he's trying to look on him? Here we go, going into the left-hander. I think Tharlo is alongside, is he? No. And the Bird is in the pits. Maffio with a scurrying exit goes wide as Tharlo will use DRS. Could he maybe get up into P1? No, he does not. And I believe the Bird is just not happy. He's not satisfied with how these tyres are going. I don't know what's going on here. He's getting... Okay, never mind. It was a glitch. Felipe Nunes retires from the session. He's had enough of his race. I think the Bird is just not happy with these tyres. I think he would rather go on the hards now and see out to the end and see if he can take a win. A cheeky little undercut here from Tharlo. And I think this really forces Tharlo's hand, because of course, if he does stay out for a little bit longer, he will probably lose time to the Bird. So the Bird's pace is good around here. Don't get this wrong. Don't get this twisted. The Bird's pace is decent here. I know DRS is very, very powerful, but having clean air is much more powerful, and that is what the Bird has. Well, here we go. DRS going to be used now by Tharlo. Etem's only 5 tenths behind KO. He's only a second behind Side Effect. So, pretty much, Etem Ulusoy is right back into this race. Just in a flash, and I think Tharlo will box it, and he does. Will he cut that corner going into there? Yeah, I think that'll be allowed. I think if you have, like, 2 wheels over, it's bad. I don't think he'll get punished for that. Or maybe he will, I don't know. We'll see. It's very, very strict here, these white lines. It's up in the air. But there we go. The hards are being put on. Like I said, it kind of forces Tharlo's hand. The Bird will come out ahead of Tharlo. It's a big, big undercut. I think he's ahead by like 3 seconds. An unbelievable undercut. No, 1.7. Very, very good undercut there from the Bird. Only a lap earlier. It's 1.5. This is what I'm saying. DRS is very, very powerful. Don't get me wrong. When you're battling and when you're trying to get ahead of someone, DRS is awful. But when you're talking about just pure pace, cleaner air is so much more better. And you've got to have pure pace to achieve a really good undercut. And that's what the Bird's just done. But now Tharlo, I think, might be finding his groove very, very quickly in these hard tyres. Because instantly it's gone from 1.7 all the way down to 1.1 in just a few corners. And there we go. It might be within DRS actually here, going into the left-hander here. We'll have to see as Etem Ulusoy overtaking LDF1 KO. Can KO potentially go down the inside of him? No, he's got the DRS here. Maffio getting overtaken by Kisatilla, who leads the Grand Prix. I think for the first time this race. I'm just going to say once again, but I don't think he has. But I do think that the hard strategy is starting on the hards is the way not to go. Actually, now I'm thinking about this. Because if you think about it, this clean air for Tharlo and the Bird is going to be absolutely lovely. And really, by the time they box, if you think about one lap being 1.6, technically they're doing an undercut of themselves, Tharlo and the Bird, of multiple laps. And these guys are all pit maybe around, I don't know, lap 16 maybe, 17, 18 probably. That's between 4 to 6 laps of just pure pedal to the metal. We're here to stay, baby. And if the mediums are not quite as good on tyre wear as the hards, as we saw evidently with the Bird, as he just got increasingly slower and slower. But here we go though, the Bird overtaken by Tharlo potentially. Round the outside he goes. I think this is pretty much a provisional P1 in this Grand Prix, and that's done and dusted there for Tharlo. up into P5, but I do think, yeah, again, provisionally P1. Joey, though, the man who wasn't happy with Azerbaijan, and really Tharlo, the man who wasn't happy with Joey in Azerbaijan, because Joey did hold up Tharlo quite a little bit, I do admit, in Azerbaijan, which damaged his race quite poorly. 3 seconds between Matthew and Etem, so if it was 5 seconds for Matthew, he would be behind Etem. I think Tharlo has to make the move here, no matter what. Don't allow Joey to hold you up again like Azerbaijan and just get past him. But here comes the bird. He's raining through. It's 3 wide. Going into the hairpin. Down the inside goes both the Mercedes and the Aston Martin. A bit of contact. A bit of wing damage maybe for somebody, but I don't know. But what I do know is that Tharlo is ahead of the bird and ahead of Joey. The inside line is just the better way to go for that turn, as proven by Tharlo. But now here comes the bird. Will he protect the inside line, Tharlo? No, he won't. And going into that first turn, the bird is ahead. But Tharlo makes a little bit of contact there with the bird. I believe just going around the inside, he just hooked it a bit too much and just kind of made contact with the bird on the inside. Will that get reported, and will that be a penalty for Tharlo? We will have to see. Oh my word, sorry. 16 seconds between him and Etem. They're going to be miles ahead by the time Etem pits and Mafia pits. Lord's sake, this is going to be an absolute breeze. They have to pit lap 14, I'd probably say. I don't know. This is very, very, very bad for Etem and for Etem and Mafia. I just don't think starting on the hards is the way to go around this track. I think they might have proved it. So quite lucky I'm actually just commentating there, because if I start on the hards in tier 3, it wouldn't be good for me to try and wrap up the championship. But here we go. Tharlo is 16 seconds behind you. You think about like 20 seconds or so per pit stop. It might be 30 even. This could be a huge undercut. But here comes the bird. He's not going away without a fight here. This is practically a battle for P1. Round the outside, the Tharlo will try to go. No, he's maybe looking for an undercut. Yes, he is. Undercut. Sorry. Switchback. I'm getting my stuff mixed. I'm talking about so much about an undercut. I'm forgetting my words. Side effects 34.5. Wonderful for him. The bird still. This is like I said, pretty much battle for P1 here. Really, Tharlo and the bird, they're all battling P1 here. Jeremy is very happy to be in the situation right now for his race, just getting towed on by these two drivers who are pretty much quicker than him. The bird. I mean, it's pretty much 15 seconds, and it is, yeah, between Tharlo and Etem. This has got to be, by the time we hit lap 16, I think these guys did 11, 10 laps on these hards. You think about maybe 18 and 17, lap 17, 18. These guys are going to be within 10 seconds. And then all of a sudden, this race is an absolute abysmal for Etem Millersoy, unless he can catch up an immense amount of pace very quickly, as Kisatilla and Maffio are still trading spots, and Maffio is P1 on track right now. I just think you have to box. I really do stress you have to box. And that's what Maffio does. Maffio is in the box, and he's gone way too wide into the box there. He's going to lose a lot of time. Etem stays out though. Let's take a look at this undercut that Tharlo's going to get. Of course, Maffio's only boxed now. He's only putting on his medium tyres now. Is it much shorter than I thought it was? Oh no, that is a mile. Oh my word, that's a mile. That is an absolute mile. Yeah. 4-5 seconds coming out the box. That's a lot. Of course though, medium tyres are softer. They're going to be quicker originally at the start, but it's all about how you can preserve those tyres. If you can keep those tyres cool and calm, baby, it's all good. But if it, unfortunately, you have a little bit of a wobble of you just go on a little bit too much, those mediums can be absolutely detrimental to your race. .2, you're just watching this gap, really. And I do think the fact that Tharlo and and the Bird will be trading DRS, it makes it even more difficult for Matt, because now they're going to be quicker than them on track because of this DRS and how powerful it is. 3.9 now, 3.7. He is catching up quite a lot, so he's asserting a bit of dominance and pace at the moment with these new tyres. Does Etem box though? That's my question. He does not. Etem is still going on about his duty on these these hard tyres. I think you box now, Etem. I think you box now, son. Left-hander here. Of course, Matt did clip Felipe Nunes. He's pretty much got a 5-second on him. Thola did have a bit of a collision with the Bird, which could be put on him as well. And I don't know whether or not will happen with him and Ulusoy, which is Ulusoy's fault, or if it was Tharlo's fault. It did look like to me it was Tharlo's fault, because I don't really know how you can lose so much traction on such an exit of a turn, if I'm being honest with you. So I do kind of feel like Tharlo might be at fault for that. See, it's about right here where they made that contact. Or maybe they didn't, but I just don't think it's possible for SM to spin just there, if I'm honest with you, on his own accord, especially if how good SM Ulusoy has been throughout the season. He's not going to make silly mistakes like that, I don't think. Maybe he has, maybe he's just surprisingly dumb, in my head. Tharlo needs to get the overtake done and dusted. Here comes Tharlo. Bit of a late move there from the Bird to keep that inside, but he's keeping it. Round the outside, Tharlo will go, and in goes SM and Kisatilla. Let's take a look at how much Tharlo will be ahead of these two. This is going to be a oh my word, oh my word. Etem's only in now. That is mental. Tharlo is going to be up the inside. Sorry, not Tharlo. The Bird will be up the inside of Tharlo. Round the outside, Tharlo will go. Can he keep his P1 here? On the inside here, this is very, very close. And that is that done and dusted. Tharlo still ahead. Side effects, by the way, is in P3. I'm not highlighting this enough. Sides in P3. And oh no! Contact! The Bird hits the back, hits the rear right of Tharlo. I had a very, very good view of that. I don't know if that's just Tharlo closing the door a little bit too much, or if that is just the Bird's fault. But nevertheless, Mafio is back in this fight now. Etem is 6 seconds behind Tharlo. I don't think, I think even with the Bird letting him go there, you can't really just say, oh yeah, let him go later in the lap, that's fine, isn't it? Yeah, no penalties, lads. I don't think you can do that. I don't think STB allows that even. ERS being used. Is DRS used by Tharlo? Yes, it is. But Mafio's creeping up on Tharlo here, and all of a sudden, this looks like the hard medium strategy is the way to go. Up the inside, the Aston Martin will go on the Aston Martin. Mafio up the inside. Will he get the move done and dusted with the better exit? Yes, he will. Well, oh, well, oh, well. On the exit, though, he screws it, and now here comes Tharlo back on him again. Can he get the move done and dusted? No, he cannot. He doesn't have the ERS, unfortunately. Just all that battling with the Bird, unfortunately. I mean, right now, you're still looking at 6 seconds behind the Bird, which means it's probably around 7, technically, for Tharlo and that. I mean, if they did get a 5-second time penalty for what they did earlier, then they would still finish ahead of Etem. But I do just feel like Etem will win this race. I feel like, actually, I was assuming that they would have been 9 seconds ahead of them each time, if I'm honest with you. But I just don't think the pit lane entry is that short. That long. And I think that, actually, maybe hard medium is the way to go. And I think it's just the matter of Tharlo not getting the better on Etem at the start of the race. If Tharlo just got away of DRS and he could just charge on into the into the follicles left in the Chinese Grand Prix. He'd be loving life right now, wouldn't he? But he just couldn't do that. And Maffeo is going to overtake Side Effects here. He's not much of a threat, as he does have a 3-second time penalty. But nevertheless, oh my god, Thorlo with a massive, massive send on the inside. He touches Maffeo. It's all going clinkly-clankly here between both drivers here for Aston Martin. Up the inside, Maffeo goes. He keeps his P1. But my oh my, contact being made. It's a right old scruffy battle here in the championship. I do just feel like, though, sometimes you just say, hey, it's a championship battle. Kind of, if stuff like that where you've still kept a position there, you don't report. Do you know what I mean? Like, yes, of course, like, it's pretty dumb for Thorlo to do that. But at the same time, like, I personally don't think that's worth a 5 sec. In my eyes. This man then is... I don't know, he might be fighting a losing battle here. Well, no. It all depends on how awful those mediums are going to be at the end of the race. It all depends on that. It all depends on that. Of course, I assume the hards are just rock hard and they just do not wear out. Just don't do it. I assume that's what they do. Let me check something. Hold on 1 second. Hopefully nobody spins. And no, as I say that, I just see in the corner of my eye Thorlo clips the inside of the bloody curb and he goes round. That, I believe, has ended his pretty much lead here in the championship. That alone, I jinxed him, honestly I did. And now, well, commentator's curse is well and truly back. And now, he's not fighting an uphill battle, he's fighting a cliff of a battle, that's what he's doing. Can he defeat Mount Everest though? We'll have to see. But I just don't think he can. I just think it's not possible. It's not possible. But yeah, this is not good news. Guess it's still overtaken Silence. I apologise, didn't see that. I hope you guys did at least a little bit there. No, I don't think you did, sorry. 8 laps left, or technically 9. And I think this race is well and truly over. I think Matt's just going to drive off in the sunset here. And I think he's going to be P1. I don't know what happened with Joey there, but, you know. Etim and Soy overtaking Thorlo now. It's getting from bad to worse. Granted, it won't be that huge of a lead in the championship if it's only P6, sorry, only P5 for Etim and only P6 for Thorlo. But yet again, Maffeo will be leading the championship at this current point in state, unless he does get slapped with those time penalties and he's put down to P2, or maybe even P3, maybe even Side Effects will win this. But yeah, Joey has retired and it's a safety car. My oh my, we have a safety car, fellas. And now that really screws up things for Matt. I think it's Joey. He had some issues earlier on in that lap. 19 laps on the hards. It's pretty much expected. I think he might have gone hard soft for the strategy. LD1 goes in for softs. I don't know if you go mediums. No, you go soft. You go softs. Let's not kid ourselves. So you go softs. Well, that has just shook things right up here in China. We reset to point 1. Safety car is out on track. Everyone stay where you are. And now the grid will be very much close to each other. I think this also is much worse for people who are going to get time penalties off this Grand Prix, aka potentially Thorlo. I don't think he'll escape a penalty. I think he will get a penalty off this race. Matt, he'll definitely get a penalty. I think Thorlo will look through the stream. He'll find those two things that happened with him, and that's that. The bird, I think, will also I maybe get a penalty for what he did to Tharlo. He clipped his rear right, actually. Yeah, I don't know whether or not it's just Tharlo shut the door in him a bit too much there, or if that is just the bird being the bird and just hitting him on the little back right wheel. Don't really know what the bird's trying to do on side there. You do have to be careful of people who are overtaking safety cars as well. If you're like just side by side someone on the, it's strictly prohibited in STB. Matt's in the pits, Attila's in the pits, Side's in the pits, the bird, oh no, this is even worse for Etem actually, because Etem's going to get held up here by his teammate Side Effects 99. So I do believe actually, Tharlo might be ahead of Etem. Let's take a look here, Side, he's in the box, no, not in the box, sorry. He is now. When's Etem gonna, he's right there, it's a big hold up for Etem. A double stackage. Tharlo's on mediums. It's a bit of a mix-up here. People on mediums, people on softs. Etem's on mediums. Tharlo's on mediums. The bird Side Effects are on softs. I would go softs, but I think that they've done their research here, these fellas. I think the softs wear out pretty darn quickly. But yet again, you think about how far back Cammy's going to be. You pretty much got like 2 laps, and then it's lights out, where we go. 4 laps left of the Grand Prix. I think our softs can do decent for 4 laps. That's my thought process behind it if I was going to box right now. I mean, this is a big moment. Tharlo is ahead of Etem because of the double stackage of Side Effects 99. Very, very, very important that. I think Etem will finish ahead of Tharlo. But if Tharlo can just... finish ahead of him in terms of penalties. But if Tharlo can just finish ahead of Etem on track, then he's only losing like 1 position to Etem, which is very, very crucial. But yet again, of course, if Elsie F1K and Camry just decide to get quick all of a sudden, then you've pretty much got, like, oh, I don't know. Actually, you've only got 1 lap. I think mediums are good here, actually. I think they're the better way to go. Now that I see it, I remember this isn't F1X Sant that we've got on the back of the grid here. It is Camry. He is not an absolute doofus, so he will catch up relatively quickly. Safety car's in this lap, my oh my, it's very quick in coming in. We're ready to go all of a sudden again. Don't know why it says he's 1.5 seconds ahead there, Matt, but this is a very awkward place to restart here for Matt, but it's gone right now and it is a good exit ahead of Attila. 5/10 the gap, the bird 1.5 seconds there. And I think LD4K is going to use everything he can to try and get past Etem here. Maybe up the inside going into this turn. No, Etem is very good at keeping that inside lane. Something's going on ahead though. There's a bit of a stackage really here. Side Effects 99. Gonna get some cheeky little bit of overtakes here. The bird into the right hander. Here's Etem. On fire maybe. Not any positions changed from now on in the Grand Prix. By lap 25 I will put the thing to penalty now so we can see the penalties that's going on and what's going on with that. PSR Etem Ulasoy. Will he win the championship or will it be Tharlo 4? Bit of a spin from both of them really there, and that's a big, big mistake I believe from Side Effects up the field. And here comes Etem Ulasoy on Tharlo 4. Will it be the first overtake under the safety car? It will not. Tharlo is burning. He does not want to be overtaken here by Etem. Etem will look for a move around the outside going into one. There's contact between the two of them. Etem goes off a little bit through no fault of his own. And he stays in P6. Yet again, here we go, it's the same recycled stuff. Etem. Can he get behind? DRS is now enabled. Mafio currently is winning this race, and he's currently going to be the championship leader going into next week. Side has absolutely dropped off here in terms of his pace compared to what he was doing on those mediums. He's burnt all of his ERS. Just trying everything he can to get back into a second, but I don't think he can. And this opens the door for both Tharlo and the Bird. And who knows, maybe the Bird can hold up him a little bit, Tharlo, and that'll be nice for him. Here comes Tharlo. He's wanting that move. Will he get it? Round the outside he's looking to go, and the Bird absolutely sends it on the inside there, which means he won't get a very good exit. If Tharlo can get a good exit here, it's absolutely lovely for him. I don't know why. Sorry. Hold on. I was in game chat. I'm hoping that wasn't for very long. In which case I do apologise. Round the outside. Tharlo goes on SM. This is a lot of kerfuffle here. The Bird. And on the outside goes Tharlo. My oh my, he's been pushed off a bit there. I think that'll get removed. That'll get removed. I'm sure of it. We'll put the detail back up to penalties now as we see. SM looking for that move. No, he's not going to get it. Tharlo now looking for that move on the Bird. Round the outside he's looking to go. The Bird though, he stays in his place. But now the exit's poor for the Bird. And Tharlo will look for the move. Round the outside going into that right-hander. And in this right-hander again. Round the outside. Will he get the move done? Is the grip good enough? Yes it is. Tharlo is up into P4, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. And here comes SM Ulusoy instantly on the inside. Will the Bird have a bit of a word with him going into here? He pushes him off a bit there, and SM poor in the traction. He's lost a lot of time there. Tharlo, can he make his breakaway? If Tharlo can finish, on the inside there of SM Ulusoy, that was a very tight gap. He's gone for it there, and to be fair to him, he is climbing up the order, but the Bird is absolutely rinsing his ERS to try and stay ahead. Tharlo is up into P3 of this Grand Prix. Round the outside, SM looks to go. He hits the back. He's too deep going into the turn once more. I think SM's getting frustrated. And can you blame him? He's just stuck in the same spot. He should be ahead of the Bird by now. And now look at him, he's still behind. It's frustration for SM Ulusoy. And now FF1 KO's past him. What is going on for SM? It's falling off. The wheels are falling off. Truly, and well and truly, they're falling off. He's losing a lot of time. Mr. Ulusoy, oh my word! Oh my word! SM Ulusoy, what's he done? He loses traction. He hits the rear right of KO. And SM has lost 5 seconds to the Bird. He has made KO lose 8 seconds to him. Sorry, I squealed there. I do apologise. Massive moment. And SM Ulusoy, again I squealed, sorry. And SM Ulusoy, he could be in for a little bit of a charge, a bit of a penalty after this Grand Prix. Tharlo will get his 3-second time penalty removed, but it won't matter to him because he will be ahead of SM Ulusoy going into next week. And I think Matthew, even though he will win it on track, he will get P2 because of his troubles today and his contact that he's made with a lot of people. We've got 2 laps left to go. And Maffio's leading. Attila's P2. Tharlo 4-3-3. And you look all the way down the order. Etem's P6. Through an LDF1 KO contact, which I must say, I do believe was SM's fault as he lost traction. Now, of course, the Bird overtaking side effects actually there, actually. I did miss that, I do apologise. Side though will look for the move down the inside of the Bird. It's making them lose time to Tharlo, which is just what Tharlo 4 wants. Here we go then. So I look to put on the pressure on the bird. It doesn't faze him. This is your race from now on. Will Mafio not bottle it, just like, you must say, SMG just a second ago? Will Mafio keep his cool, keep his nerve, and come round to win China? In what would be a mental race. Tiller into that right hander. Will he get the foot down? Will he get the DRS? He does. I think it's all eyes on that now, really. You're not looking at anybody else but STB Mafio to just keep his cool and get this win. He's put it in none into the straight. I mean, for God's sake, he is cool, calm and collected, this man. He hasn't been in previous races, but he has now, and that's what counts. He did get some 5-second time penalties, though. Tharlo will get his removed. He is within 5 seconds. Unless something happens here, which in case makes Mafio 5 seconds ahead of Tharlo, Mafio could be in here for maybe finishing behind Tharlo. Key thing we need to point out there. It's around 4.2 seconds here to Matt, and here comes Kisatilla. Will he look for a move down the inside? No, he won't. He's going to be patient. He's going to look for that straight. So he's got much more ERS than Matt does right now. 30%, I mean, that's the difference between 40 to 70, and if we're saying that, then, you know... Oh, 40% actually is the difference between 50 and 90. Well, Matt with a poor exit there. Tharlo crucially gains time. Kisatilla into the right-hander. Mafio with a wibbly-wobbly exit. And now here comes Kisatilla. Last lap. Will there be any contact here? ERS being used. Mafio is just looking to preserve. But Attila will overtake him down the straight. Mafia will he go for a lunge? He will go for a lunge. An absolute massive send. There's contact made, but he is passed. And Mafio will come round that last turn and will take the on-track win. Maybe not. Oh my word, it was close. But Mafio does take that on-track win. Tharlo, you remove that 3 sec. He is within 5 seconds of Matt. Ete Melusoi finishing P5. He will probably get a 10 sec slapped on him, because I'm pretty sure Tharlo will look at that and go, yeah, well, Ete, you get a 10 sec, mate, so you're going to be finishing P6. But I do believe, ladies and gentlemen, that this is 15, 25, 10 points that Matthews gained. Matt's not leading the championship. It is Tharlo 4 who is leading the championship going into next week. On track. On track. Off track. I still think he will. We will have to see, won't we? Lovely race. Mafio on track wins. Off track, I'm pretty sure it'll kiss Attila. Lovely stuff from the lads. We will go ahead and invite Tharlo, invite Matt, invite everybody. And they will give their perspective of the Grand Prix. Interesting race, to say the least. Let's see what happens. Mafio then, we will invite. Tharlo, we will invite. There we go. There you go, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. That is your on-track end of this Grand Prix. Mafio winning. Lovely stuff, really. Both Matt and Tharlo haven't been invited to the party, so whether or not they join or not, it's up to them for an interview. But there you go then, fellas. We'll pretty much, it's the end of the stream, but we are just going to be waiting for whether or not Matt and Tharlo would like an interview. If the answer is yes, of course, we will give them their opinion on the race. If they don't want to, of course, it's up to them. I'm not going to beg for an interview. I'll give him 3 minutes. Oh, Matt's in there. Lovely jubbly. Matt's in here. We'll see if Tharlo will join. I've given him 2 invites, so I'm not going to waste my time really doing another one if I'm being honest with you. Or maybe I will. Yeah, we'll give him one more. Just one more cheeky invite. Actually, no. To be fair, doing 3 invites kind of begging it. Well, we'll just keep it here. Right, Matthew, as your party audio included.
Yes.
Well. Usually you'd be the one talking to me in the com box after a tier 3 race, but how the turn's been tabled.
Yep.
I am now talking to you, my fella. Weird, quite a crazy race in terms of strategy and in terms of last few laps. Can you give us your rundown of your on-track B1?
Well, didn't have the greatest of start. Lost the position to Tharlo on lap one. But yeah, just held on. I knew the hard mediums would start to fall off a little bit. They pitted very earlier than I was expecting. So when I got on the mediums, I just had just a much better pace, and because they were fighting, I caught up really quickly. But then I got caught in the battle, which kind of slowed me down more than I wanted, because then Attila got closer to me. But I thought I could manage the gap, and then Joe retired, which then caused the safety car. So I thought I'll nail this restart and try and build a DRS gap, but I just couldn't quite get it in the end. And then, yeah, I don't know. I obviously got to the last corner on the last lap, and they had a terrible exit. I bottled the whole that first sector before the hairpin, and he got me on the straight, but I just stuck up the inside. I got the move done on the inside. I felt like I could have gave him space, but he turned in and hit me at the apex. So it's like he turned in like I wasn't there. So I could have gave him space, but because he turned in early, it caused him to ghost. And obviously, yeah, but we both made the corner, so it's not like I forced him off the track. So for me, that was a brilliant overtake. If it's a penalty, then it's on the dodgy side, but I think that's still I think that's still a good overtake. I don't think that's a penalty. If it is, I wouldn't be surprised because it was quite aggressive, but I felt like I had the inside and was going to give him space,
Yeah.
but the collision happened before. But yeah,
From my angle, I was very surprised you were going to go for that move.
yeah,
So
it was last
I
last minute,
we'll
last
see.
chance. So
Yeah, of course.
okay.
But moving on to the man in P3, if he's included his audio. He's not doing an interview. He told me to slap my mum. We'll go ahead and end the stream then, folks. Thank you all for watching the Tier 1 stream. If you want to see Tier 2, join us tomorrow. And if you want to watch Tier 3, join us on Wednesday. If you don't want to watch that rubbish from Tier 2 and Tier 3, you can join us next week for, I think, Las Vegas. Not too sure, though. But that's it then, folks. You all have a fantastic night. See you tomorrow.